Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. Well, you know what? My intentions are with this video to post it onto my Voodoo Politics 1 channel. But now that I think about it, because the topic is the Second Amendment, it may go over the 10-minute allotment on that channel. If that's the case, I don't want to do this in multiple parts, so what I will do is post it onto my Mad Bad Voodoo channel. So if you're on my Mad Bad Voodoo channel watching this video, be forewarned, this is going to be a political video. So if you're not down with politics, then feel free to click off and watch a different video, watch somebody else's video. So having said that, let's get the party started. This video was going to be a kind of a video reply or video response to Kiwi Ted Fernie. If you don't know Kiwi Ted Fernie, he's a cool cat. He's a New Zealander. He's a gun guy. He's an awesome dude. Check him out. I'll put a link to his channel, in fact. But he had made a couple of comments about the Second Amendment, and has over actually a couple of different videos and left me a comment, in fact, regarding the Second Amendment, telling me how, you know, it makes all the difference in the world and this and that and this and that. I realized that instead of making a video to Ted, I know that there's so many. I mean, I have friends in Australia, I have friends in Canada, I have friends in the UK, obviously as well as New Zealand. I'm just going to kind of make this a blanket to all of them, because what Kiwi Ted has said, what Ted Fernie has said, has been said by other people in those countries regarding the Second Amendment. And their position basically is this. They believe that Americans are extremely lucky that we actually have a constitutional document called the Bill of Rights that guarantees us the right to have and bear arms. And because they don't have that right guaranteed to them through a constitutional Bill of Rights, that they're screwed and they have to take, basically bend over and take it. And I don't agree with that. And I want to explore that a little bit. First of all, this basically is going to be for everybody in the free world. All right, now let me define free world real quick. If you live in a country where you're being governed by individuals that you actually vote into power, then you live in the free world. Okay, so this will be aimed at you. If you do not live in the free world, then you know, start a revolution or something, but get into the free world, because the free world is where it's at. Okay, now here's the thing, fellas. Now, for those of you who have been in the military, you're going to know what I'm talking about. It's ball check time. You need to reach down between your legs and see if you have a pair, because if you don't, there ain't nothing I can do for you. Okay, but if you've got a pair, hear me out. The thing of it is this, okay? Now, I'm going to set aside, by the way, the argument that a population has to be armed in order to protect itself from a tyrannical government, or a government that could ultimately turn into a tyrannical government. I'm going to lay that, I'm going to put that on the shelf. I'm not saying there's no validity to that argument, but for this particular argument, I'm just going to forget that. The argument that I'm going to make is that it is an absolute right, the most basic and fundamental right that you have is the right to exist. Okay? You have to understand it. The most basic, fundamental right that you have is the right to exist. Now, I believe that right was granted to me by the Almighty Creator. Now, having said that, if you are an atheist, it makes no difference, but you have to have the mindset that you personally have the right to exist, and nobody can take that away from you. Now, in my opinion, the government does not give you that right. The government does not give you the right to exist. It's a fundamental, basic right. You don't need the government to give you that right. You don't need a Second Amendment to give you that right. You don't need a Bill of Rights or the Constitution to give you. You don't need anything. You have, bottom line, the right to exist. Now, having said that, once you've come to the conclusion that you do have the basic right to exist and that nobody can deny you that right, then your other fundamental right is the right to protect that right. Okay? Bottom line, protect that right. Now, guns. Where do guns come in on this? Guns are the great equalizer. And let me give you a real quick example. Let's say you're an 82-year-old man with a hip replacement and you're using a cane. Okay, and a 23-year-old man jumps out of the bushes with a baseball bat. Okay, so you've got a 23-year-old man with a Louisville Slugger and an 82-year-old man with a cane. All right, it's not a fair fight. But when the 82-year-old man pulls out a pistol it's an equal fight. And dare I say that my money will be on the 82-year-old. Now, he has a fundamental right to defend himself. Period. If you feel your life is threatened, you have the right to defend yourself. No government can take that away from you. Period. No government can take that away from you. All right, now, what are you going to do? First and foremost, you have to organize. Now, I noticed Ted has quite a bit of NRA gear, NRA hats, NRA T-shirts, and I've seen other people from the free world donning those things too, or donning those things too. I'm not real sure how much representation the National Rifle Organization gives people outside the United States. Now, I may be wrong about this, but I'm assuming that you're showing solidarity with us, and that's great. However, I'd say it's high time for you to organize your own groups. Okay, it's very, very important to have representation like the National Rifle Organization or something like that, who can fight for your rights, lobby for your rights. All politicians who run for office are affected by lobbyists, period, because it's expensive to run for office. Now, having said that, I know what you're saying. Well, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way. Well, let me tell you something. Let me introduce you to a president named William Jefferson Clinton. Some call him Slick Willie, and some call him Billy. But the bottom line is William Jefferson Clinton. And he was, I think, the 42nd president of the United States, something like that. He thought at one time that it would be a really excellent idea to have what was called an assault weapons ban. Okay, a gun ban. He thought it would be a really great idea to have a gun ban. So he convinced his fellow Democrats in the House and in the Senate to go along with him. And they did. They absolutely did. All the way till the next election. When they got, well, shall we say it was a bloodbath. They got voted out in droves, and the people who were gun people flat out made no bones about it. That was the reason that they lost their jobs. Now, politicians are politicians. That's their job. That's their gig, and they like their gig. Because, you know, let's be honest, it's a sweet gig. They're not looking to lose their jobs anytime soon. I mean, come on. Here's the thing. You have to organize. You have to point out to these politicians that if they don't see it your way, then you will seek other representation. Now, some of you have elections every, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, it doesn't matter. Organize. Back politicians that are pro-gun. You have to. Back politicians that are pro-gun. Let the politicians that are pro-gun know. If there was a politician who submitted a bill that was enacted into law that restricted a gun owner's rights, I don't care what other position that politician had. That politician's got to go. And that's really the attitude you have to have. Because what that politician is trying to do by restricting your ability to own a firearm is he is literally restricting your ability to protect your most basic right, and that is the right to exist. Bottom line. So you have to let that politician know by supporting or putting forth any legislation that's going to ban guns or restrict your ability to have or own or carry or defend yourself with guns, then that politician, turn it on him. That politician is literally telling you that you do not have the right to exist, or you do not have the right to protect your right to exist. Now, for those people who may bring the argument that more guns will mean more violence, bring up the equalizer issue. I mean, you look at, every country has its serial killer, I'm sure of it. You look at Ted Bundy in the United States. He never once used a gun, but he killed a lot of people. There are always going to be those out there that want to harm others. That's just the way it is. It's unbeknownst to why. Yes, will guns cause more? That's possibly. Listen, nothing's free in this world. If you want the right to be able to defend yourself, you have to be willing to accept that there are going to be some people out there that will abuse that. Now, having said that, it's going to take time. Literally, it's going to take time. You're going to have to convince other people, because there are a lot of sheep in this world. We have a lot of sheep in the United States. There are a lot of sheep in this world that think that the police are going to be there for them. All they need to do is call for the police, and the police will be there and protect them. But we all know the reality, and the reality is, and in fact, you can see this on the front of my Mad Bad Voodoo page. When seconds count, the police are only minutes away. You know, I mean, bottom line, you don't want to ever have to count on the police to protect your life. So, once again, if you feel, and you should, that your most basic right is the right to protect yourself, the right to exist, then you're going to have to fight for this. You're just going to have to fight for this. If you're in a situation where your fellow countrymen are that sheepish, and you're not going to be able to convince enough of them to get behind a movement that would allow you and them to protect themselves, you have one option at that point. And that option is to immigrate to the United States. And I welcome you. I've always been a big supporter of legal immigration. You know, legal immigration I'm a huge, huge fan of. I'm a product of that. My forefathers came from Switzerland. You know, I'm a huge supporter of legal immigration. And if it comes down to that, you just say, I think Ted Fernie said that there was 4 million people in New Zealand, which is strange to me because I think Cleveland, Ohio has probably 3 million. And one city in Ohio has that many, or close to it. If you can't convince the majority and 4 million people that they have the right to protect themselves, then you know what you need to do. You need to apply for citizenship in the United States. That's what you need to do. Seriously. Because the one thing we have going for us in this country is, we have the right to protect ourselves. You know, and here's the thing. For those people who remember the assault weapons ban, the Democrats have never, ever attempted any such stupidity since they got their asses handed to them. Now, there is a fear, of course, that Barack Hussein Obama will, as he likes to do, rule by decree. I am a little concerned that he will try to enact some kind of some kind of BS that he just kind of stamps himself and calls it law. But I don't think the American people will put up with that. Enough of us won't, at least. But anyway, that is kind of my feelings about the free world and what you all need to do. I don't think the Second Amendment guarantees me squat. Even though it says that, I think that, like I said, it's my fundamental right to exist and my fundamental right to protect my existence, you know. So, anyway, there it is. Give me some feedback on this. Let me know what y'all think. This is almost 13 minutes, so this will definitely be up on my Mad Bad Voodoo channel. Anyway, yeah, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Am I missing something? By the way, does the NRA represent you in New Zealand? I'd like to know. And if so, are they properly representing you? And if not, maybe you need to look at a different organization. But anyway, listen, everybody, take care and shoot straight and stay safe.